Thank you, sir. My name is Kariuki from the People Daily. My question goes to the issue of grade 9, the transition that we're expecting come next year. I would like to know if the Ministry of Education has given statistics or the progress of construction of classes for grade 9, where these children will be accommodated. If so, how many classes have been built? And how does the ministry intend to accommodate children who may be in populous schools? I'm saying this because you may find that some public schools that had about 3 or 4 streams in grade 8 are only building on maybe 2 or 1 class for grade 9. That may cause strain on the infrastructure in those schools. So probably if there is any arrangement of how to accommodate all this grade 8 transitioning to grade 9. The other issue is the release of national exams. I don't know if you have the dates. And if so, you can just tell us. And then the last one is the issue of cash transfer for people with disabilities. I don't know how that program is running. There's a concern that a Kenyan is raising. If you can tell us how to go about it, or if it's still running. Thank you.
Daktari, mimi naitwa Vincent Afande kwa niaba ya Radio Citizen. Niko na maswali mawili. Swali la kwanza ni kuhusiana na ile statement ambaye alikuwa naibu wa rais Rigathi Gachagua ameisuta serikali yenu akisema kwamba mumerejesha ile pombe haramu haswa Mount Kenya kwa lengo kuu kuathiri vijana ili wasipate kura mwaka 2027. Hilo ni swali moja. La pili ni kuhusiana na kampeni za Mheshimiwa Raila. Wakenya wanafahamu kwamba serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ndio inaendesha kampeni hizo. Pengine tumetumia pesa ngapi za mlipa ushuru kwa niaba ya kufanya kampeni za Raila kupata kile kiti cha AUC? Asante sana daktari.
Na swali nyingine?
Daktari, nina swali moja kwako leo na linahusiana na ukataji wa miti katika msitu wa Karura. Serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ilituambia kwamba itajitahidi pakubwa sana na kujisatiti kuhakikisha kwamba imepanda takriban miti bilioni 15 ili kuafikia ndoto na maazimio ya maono yetu ya ama ukipenda Vision 2030. Ule ukataji wa miti ambao tumeshuhudia katika msitu wa Karura, daktari, ni wa kutisha mno. Serikali ikatuambia kwamba wanaikata miti hiyo ambayo imekomaa ili wapande miti ambayo ina manufaa kwa Kenya. Mahakama ya Milimani juzi imesitisha ukataji wa miti, wakasema kwamba kesi hiyo itaisikizwa mnamo mwezi February actually. Na Wakenya wanauliza sasa hivi hapa nje kwamba serikali ya Kenya Kwanza inakata miti ili ipande au inapanda miti ili ikate. Hilo utatueleza? Mimi nimeachana na hilo. Kuna maswali ambayo Wakenya wanauliza kutoka, hawa ni wale ambao wanatazama moja kwa moja, wanauliza kutoka online. Na moja anasema, my first question is about the concern on the livestock vaccination. Kenyans are demanding for a public participation before the vaccination process begins. Has the government put in place preparations to engage the livestock keepers before vaccinating them? That is their question, number 1. Number 2, another question is, are they requesting we are requesting the government, if the vaccination is really too critical and must be given to their livestock, they say there are more than deadly diseases that are a problem to them managing and preventing. Why can the government help provide vaccines for those diseases rather than that of the foot and mouth that they are saying they can manage themselves? Last question is, in Kajiado, there is an ipomea weed which has turned to be a problem to the livestock keepers in there. Can the government divert the energy in vaccinating the livestock and help Kajiado and the rest of the nation where they are experiencing the weed to control and kill it? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other final question? Okay. Nataka kujibu. Mwenzangu kutoka KBC. I don't know whether you want me to answer in English or Kiswahili. Whichever is fine. Eh? Yes, the issue of circulation of money has been an issue that has been raised by many Kenyans. And the government is putting in place measures to ensure that we do so in terms of circulation. There are some 5 measures that we've agreed on what we need to do. And let me leave it at that, because some of this is in the pipeline. But rest assured that that is actually, going forward, something that we are addressing very robustly in terms of increasing circulation. Because when you have inflation is going up is when you have too much money chasing too few goods, and vice versa. So we will look at that as well. But you can see clearly the lending to the private sector has increased by 100 billion. We've been able to secure $120 million to financing. You can see the increase, for example, of the tourists that are coming to Kenya. That is still income. The production in the agricultural sector, again, that is income. But there's something that somebody cannot doubt, that we have reduced cost of living as a result of our deliberate policy to subsidize production rather than consumption. The millions of bags of maize, and all of that is as a result of the fact that now, coupled with the rainfall and the subsidized fertilizer, people have more food. Really, that's true. That's actually true. So yes, if that were not to be the case, things would have actually be worse. Now we are not even importing sugar. Milk is being bought at a better price. It's increased significantly. So I want to say without a doubt that we made progress there. But in terms of circulation, there are measures, and the increasing of the employment in terms of the various sectors of the economy, be it affordable housing, be it teaching, be it abroad jobs, all of those are forms of income, including, as you can see, the earnings from tea sector increased by 42 billion. And remember, even recently, the government has been able to put in place a policy where coffee farmers will be paid directly. And the cost of cooperative charges has been capped up to 20% per kilo. So there's money. But sometimes don't rely so much on what you see on social media and other places. The truth of the matter is that at the macro level, things have actually improved in a very significant manner. In fact, I can dare say, if you compare the fifth administration led by President William Ruto, what it has been able to do in the last 2 years is more than any of the past administrations within that same period. That I can say without a doubt. We have been very deliberate in making painful decisions, but in the end, Kenyans are going to be happier. And you'll ask me why. Not even in the last 60 years have 16 million Kenyans been registered for this public health insurance, popularly known as Taifa Care. It's the first time. Never ever before have we ever employed 85,000 teachers at a go. Never. If you look at the fiber, the previous administration was able to do only 9,000. We've been able to do 13,000 within 2 years. So my sister, there is every indicator that things are going well. And in fact, the challenge has been the public debt, and we have not defaulted. So that's actually quite commendable. That's really, really commendable. That's why more Kenyans are investing. More foreigners are investing here, $800 million, 50 new companies, and more, 14,000 new jobs, direct, real jobs. So Kenya really is on the takeoff. On the new funding model, the matter is in court, yes, but it's out of the issue of public participation. But even if that is the case, because it's only a suspension, it is deliberate. The cost of education has gone higher. The funding had reduced to only 48% instead of 70% per student, per course. And so we cannot keep on financing our universities the way we were doing in the 90s. So we resolved this issue. And I believe we have been able to put in over 43 billion and counting. At least we have been able to have the lecturers off the streets. So that is very commendable. The government remains committed to ensuring that we revive our university sector. That is something that I want to say so. Whatever is legal can only be argued in court, but we remain very committed to reviving our university education system and ensuring that that is fine. I think K24 have answered you about that question of inflation. People Daily, very good questions. I think the issue of grade 9, you will agree with me, it's a Herculean task to build 16,000 classrooms. Over so many, I think it's 23,000 primary schools across the country. But we are trying our level best. There may be some makeshift arrangements before all of them are completed. But we are trying to race against time to ensure that they will be ready. But if there is a problem somewhere, we can still, because there will be some rooms that also will be vacant because of this movement, they may be used as a makeshift. But our target is to ensure that the 16,000 classrooms are done and according to the number of students going forward. It will resolve itself as we go by, because we are very deliberate and intentional. So kindly get that in place. On the national exams, the dates will be announced by the Minister, CS Julius Migosi Ogamba. So let me leave it that when it comes to that. But when it comes to cash transfer for persons with severe disabilities, we've reviewed this program. We now have 61,000 households benefiting. It is our desire to reach 100,000 if we increase the funding. We just celebrated 20 years of the work that we've done under the National Council for Persons with Disabilities since the Act was put in place on 31st of December 2003. I was privileged to serve in the Pioneer Board of the Council. So it also, for me, marks 20 years since my public engagement, public service. And so we want more and more people to benefit. Our aim is to ensure that we get universal coverage for all people with disabilities. That's a dream, but it's yet to be achieved. Procedure is very simple. You register. As a person with disability, which is now under eCitizen, we have now decentralized the signature of the Ministry of Health, the Director of Medical Services, to all the 47 counties. You don't need to come to Nairobi. Then you are assessed by a multidisciplinary board. Then you are given the card. Then you apply now for the cash transfer. Unfortunately, we have more people who are deserving than those who are enrolled in the system, which was initially 47,000 households. But it is my desire and prayer that we get more people on board. And as a government, we remain very committed into the Inua Jamii program to increase funding, to ensure that we cover as many of the persons with severe disabilities. Please let us note that it is not anybody with disability. That is universal. No, it's those with severe disabilities, basically people who have developmental disabilities. And they are defined into 3 categories: people who need 24-hour care, people who are from poor background, and people who, are a danger unto themselves if left on their own, people who may have conditions such as autism, cerebral palsy, intellectual disability, and all of that. So it's not for anyone with any form of disability. I remember last week being in Nyeri, and a lady asking me why she doesn't receive the cash transfer, yet she may not really qualify. So it's good you get that clarification. The National Council for Persons with Disabilities has got offices across the 47 counties. You can visit there and get your more information. Then we have the issue of afande. Unauliza kuhusu tetesi kwamba kuna pombe ambazo zinaelekezwa upande wa Mlima Kenya. Sisi kama serikali hatuna mpango kama huo hata kidogo, na hakuna njia yoyote ambao tunaweza kuadhiri Wakenya ambao ni Wakenya kama wale wengine ambao wanaunga mkono serikali ya Kenya Kwanza na wana haki kama ya kila mtu mwingine yeyote. Kwa hivyo hizo ni tetesi ambazo sio za kweli, na sisi hatuna shughuli kama hiyo. Hakuna mpango kama huo wote masuala kama hayo. Nafikiri hizo tu ni siasa ya kawaida. Pia mambo ya pesa ambazo Mheshimiwa Raila ametumia kwa kampeni, wewe afande wewe. Nafikiri hilo ni jambo ambalo tutaweza kulizungumzia kwa baadaye kwa sasa, lakini ningependa kuhakikishia Wakenya kwamba hatutumii pesa nyingi, kwa sababu tuna mwenzetu ambaye ni baba, ni mtu ambaye anaheshimika, ni mwanasiasa mkongwe ambaye amebobea, ambaye ana tajriba ya uongozi, ana sifa nzuri, anajulikana Afrika nzima. Ikumbuka kwamba alikuwa anasimamia miundo msingi katika bara lote la Afrika, katika Umoja wa Afrika. Kwa hiyo anajulikana sana. Nafikiri uliona vile ambavyo aliweza kujitetea katika ule mjadala ambao ulifanyika wiki iliyopita. Kwa hiyo hatuhitaji kutumia fedha nyingi kiasi cha haja ndiposa yeye mwenyewe aweze kuungwa mkono kuwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ya Umoja wa Afrika. Ronnie Reagan, I think that's a very interesting question, because we have had this problem of Karura Forest. You know, some people have even gone to court about the expansion of Kiambu Road. Just let me say in a nutshell, without elaborating further, that action is being taken because it is totally unacceptable. That on one hand, we could be, you know, getting more trees to be planted, but on the other, some people are also destroying what we are building. On the issue of livestock, I think you can do both. You can still be able to deal with that hazardous weed, but the benefits that accrue from livestock vaccination program are really, really, really beyond imagination. It is the first time that livestock is being focused on as a value chain by the government. It's never happened before. We have a livestock insurance policy that was passed by the cabinet. We even have compensated those that have been affected by the various calamities, and now we want to vaccinate all of them. So that is something that we are not going to let go. We want more Kenyans to be sensitized. That's why we are talking about it. There is a lot of misinformation and disinformation. Please, my fellow Kenyans, let us be positive about government programs. There is no sinister motive. It's just for healthy, you know, production, an increase in production, just like the same way we have done with maize and sugar and milk. We want to ensure that we increase that yield going forward. Yeah, so I think kwa haya mengi na marefu, asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki, muwe na Christmas njema.